the robot that was mentioned so many times in the comment section. People have been telling me, you need to try Roborock G10, the one that has the water tank and the dust emptying at the dock. Well, it's here now, and they call it the Roborock S7 MaxV. So it came with this quick start guide. Okay. And then the manual, the base plate, here are cables, and then this one should be the dust bag. This is huge. Now for the robot itself, it came with this base, which you will not be needing it, okay? And this is a really nice color, matte black. I've never seen a matte black robot. So far it's always like glossy black, glossy white, or matte white. So this is a first, and it's really nice. So the first thing you need to do with this robot is take this dust compartment out. There is this outlet that you need to remove this plate, okay? Because you want the dust to go out from here, okay, and then into that dock. So you only put this thing back if you're just using this robot with the dock that it came with. But if you're using that, all these accessories, you don't need it. Okay, this is really messy. I think I need to do some housekeeping. Okay, nothing left. So the most interesting feature about this Roborock is the remote viewing. So there's a camera here. Can you see it? So if you want to enable remote viewing, you have to hold down these 3 buttons, and then you will be able to navigate on your phone to send it around like a moving webcam, talk to people. So there are times when they are not in the living room. This is when I have the chance to send this to find where the kids are. Are they digging out the fridge? Are they in the storeroom? Okay, so this is the Roborock S7 MaxV after like a month. And there's a bit of dust, but that's okay. I'm just going to show you this waste tank. So when you open it up, you can see the wastewater. I don't know if you can see the dust. There's a little bit. When you compare it to the Dreamy robot, the waste tank is extremely disgusting. And here's my explanation. The suction power is so much higher compared to Dreamy W10. We're talking about 5,100 par value compared to 4,000-ish. So if you imagine the robot going this way, anything that's in front is going to get suction out from here. If it doesn't do a good job, it's going to end up on a mop pad. And when it scrubs at the self-cleaning dock, it's going to end up in the waste tank. And for both the water tank, the capacity is about 2.5 liters. It's able to clean up my 3 bedrooms apartment. That is a 1,300 square feet space. So let me pause here, because on Roborock's website, it did say that it can clean up to 3,000 square feet. So yes, that's also possible. Let me explain a little, because this 2.5 liters of water is finite. It can mop up to 10 zones in my own test before it runs out of water. Now, if you look at the map here, notice how small some of the zones are. So if you expand it to a proper room size of 300 square feet, you do the math. You do get 3,000 square feet for 10 zones. Now, for the dust bag, it's roughly the same, and how it fills up really depends on individual household, whether you have pets or not. For me, I only have 2 kids and I'm into 4 weeks of usage. It's not even half filled. Now, I really like this robot. It's able to vacuum, mop, and at the same time refills the water, self-cleans, scrubs the mop pad, but it's not completely effortless. If you intend to clean daily, then you need to empty the waste tank daily, fill up the water tank daily, and clean up this area occasionally, which is going to be the trouble. First, you remove the filter, followed by the high-speed maintenance brush, and whatever you are seeing now has been accumulated for 4 to 5 weeks. So one more area to clean is the air duct, which is a bit more effort than what I expected. I have to turn it around, remove the screws, and then wipe it. Now let's run it again. I've placed some objects on the floor. I'm gonna let you judge how well it avoids obstacle. There is a reactive AI, which Roborock calls it, all-knowing intelligence that combines 3D scanning that's going to identify the size of the objects. Things like socks, toys, and avoid it in both bright and dark condition. And the way that the S7 MaxV cleans is through sonic vibration. It will vibrate up to 3,000 times a minute. That was able to get rid of most of the stains. But if you leave it more than a day, I think the results may vary. I can't give you my word on that. So here is the water tank that will refill at the base, and it will constantly wet the mop pad while it's trying to mop the floor. Moving on to Vibra-Rise, a feature that is unique to Roborock, where it will lift up the mop pad. Once it's done with cleanup, when it detects carpet, it will also lift up. This is the distance away from the ground. So if you have like high pile carpet, it's not gonna help much. Okay, I'm gonna wrap things up here. So a couple of things that I don't like about the robot is that the water tank, I wish it can be a little bit bigger. So it's like 2.5 liters. I wish it can be like 4. But then I'm going back and forth because if this thing is bigger, it looks huge, which is also something that I don't want, it to look so bulky in the living room, and I don't have space in like my laundry area. And then remember the base, I think it's a bit troublesome that I have to take all these little parts out to wash. I wish it can be like, I just take one thing out and I wash it. It's more straightforward, without the screws and stuff. And then the dust bag. I love the dust bag feature, I used to dislike it. I realized having the bag is the best option ever because I have such a sensitive nose. And just the bag, a little small complaint is that it's not really biodegradable. There is this plastic latch that's not really environment friendly. I wish it could be more environment friendly. And I also forgot to mention 2 other features, which is that it can link to Alexa, Google, and Siri. So if you have pets, you can also hold down this button here. So that's going to lock the robot. So if you have kids, your pets, they can press it from here. For sure, the Roborock came with a lot of interesting features, but what I like best is how it self-wash at the base, because it scrubs the mop pad so clean that I never have to wash it manually. This to me is the most important feature of all. Alright, I'm gonna say my goodbye here, and if you are interested to see the app, stay on. And for the Roborock S7 MaxV app, I hope I can cover everything that you should know in under 4 minutes. So the bottom icons, you have full, rooms, zones, and that's how you clean, whether you want it to be like a full clean or by rooms, okay, or by zones, which my kids, they go a little bit crazy here. And then you can add like multi-zones, and then this multi-zones you can do like a couple of cycles. And then on the bottom right, you can choose how you want to vacuum, whether is it like vacuum and mop or just mop only. Okay, you have that option. So you can choose the suction power. I love the quiet mode. It's pretty decent. When I'm around, I always put quiet, but when I'm away, I'll put max. And then intensity of the scrub, I leave it at intense. And what it's lacking is the moisture level of the mop pad, because I prefer a wet mop over a dry mop. So customize is how you clean for very specific areas. I'm not that particular anymore, but you can choose like for this room, you want it to be like a high suction power. Maybe this room, is like crazy dirty. You can change the suction power for this room and the mop, or just vacuum only, or just mop only. So Roborock gives you a lot of options. And then on the right hand side, there are 4 other icons. The first one is the map view. So you can toggle. Okay, you can toggle whether you want to see the room names or not, the floor type, the furniture, and the obstacles. Okay, let me enable it again. You can rotate the map. So this is the 2D view. You have 3D, you have matrix, which I think is a little excessive. I don't think anybody likes matrix view. I mean, if you really want to see it, just walk around. So on this map, you can create invisible walls. Okay, so I have one here at the entrance. You can also do a no-go zone. That means the robot will not go there at all. Or if you want it to go there, but you don't want it to mop, okay, for example, I don't know, some of you don't like it to mop kitchen, right? So there, you can segregate all this on the app. And then the third icon here is again how you edit the map. So you can edit each room, you can merge, you can divide the rooms. And then you can also add furniture, how you want to block some of the areas, whether there is a sofa here or a bed. Okay, you can choose all of that. Can we just put back the view to 2D? Okay, great. And then you can edit the floor surface. So you can specify like what is the floor type. Is it tile, wood, or default? I guess that has something to do with how it cleans, but for me, because it's just vinyl and tiles, I did not specify, and I don't think it matters unless it's wood. Let's go back to here. You can set the sequence of how it cleans. So maybe in the morning when we're having breakfast in the living room, I would like it to start from the master, all the rooms, followed by the hallway, the living area, then into the kitchen. So that's one method. Now for the fourth icon, that's the remote viewing. If you wish to enable it, you need to hold 3 buttons on a Roborock, and then the webcam will turn on and you will be able to move it around. So now let's go into settings. Over here you have the option to map multi-story levels. Okay, it will save it. And then over here, you can set a very detailed scheduling by time, by day, by the suction power, whether you want it to be vacuum or mop or both. Okay, you can also specify by rooms. See, you can specify rooms, or you can just do a full cleanup. And then for reactive AI avoidance, there's a lot here. Basically, if you enable everything, it's for the best. And then if you have pets, you should enable the pets details. And then fill light is basically the light that shines at night. If you have kids, you know, you don't want it to shine, or if you have pets, you don't want it to shine, you can just turn it off. But for me, I leave it at automatic. So at night, when it starts to vacuum, it's able to see like where are the obstacles. For carpet, if you have carpet, for me, I set it to rise. And then when it detects carpet, it will increase the suction power. Or if you have high power carpet, I would say avoid. Okay. And then there is the dock settings, which is the last one that I'm going to go through. So for washing mode, you can choose light, balance, or deep cleaning. And then the mop frequency, I think it makes more sense to go by room so you don't spread the dirt. And then auto emptying, set it to enable. And then for empty mode, yeah, I just leave it at smart. But if you have pets, again, if you have a bigger home, maybe you should just set it to the highest. And then auto drying, I can't enable that because I don't have that module, and I don't really dry the mop pad.